Hello, and welcome to our webinar on untangling the ball of mud. I am Amanda Mahoney, and I'm here with the ReDuX AI team here at Carson Solutions. Today, I'm going to discuss what it means to untangle the ball of mud as we modernize a complex legacy system, and then share how AI can be used to accelerate that modernization process. Let's dive in. Before we get into the legacy modernization process, I want to take a step back and talk about how we are starting to see things take shape when it comes to using generative AI, or we'll call it Gen AI, to improve the software development and modernization process. When we look at the industry, we looked at how we could use AI to accelerate modernization projects. We asked ourselves how we could do more than swapping Gen AI tools for a developer. And Gen AI, when used by developers, has some pretty powerful advantages, right? It enhances efficiency by automating routine tasks so that human developers can focus on high-impact strategic initiatives and the rollout of new features. Automated code generation can significantly reduce costs associated with lengthy development cycles while reducing technical debt through consistent and optimized code production. There's improved accuracy as Gen AI models can help minimize human error in current development by leveraging advanced algorithms that ensure consistent and precise coding practices. And finally, agility and scalability are enhanced by generative AI by rapidly generating and modifying code in response to changing requirements. But one of the most powerful opportunities Gen AI presents is the potential to accelerate the modernization process. We know that there are mission-critical systems out there that need modernized. For example, we know the following about mainframe systems developed using the COBOL language in the financial industry. According to a Thomson Reuters study, just within the financial industry, 43% of banking systems use COBOL. 80% of in-person financial transactions use a system written in COBOL, and 95% of ATM swipes rely on COBOL code. But what makes mainframe systems challenging is these are systems that are expensive to maintain, difficult to change, and vulnerable to security attacks. And just as important, because the system isn't modern, it misses out on opportunities to adopt newer technologies, to enhance user experience, to adapt to changes more effectively, and to leverage the cloud for operational efficiency. As an enterprise modernization company, we understand those challenges. It's the bread and butter of our work. And we've invested resources to understand what technologies and tools are available to help our customers overcome those issues. Among these, Gen AI can be especially useful for addressing the seemingly intractable modernization problems that mainframe systems face. Problems that we know are resource intensive, problems that are costly, and problems that require specialized knowledge to solve. Let's go even further. When the legacy system is tied to a business critical system, we know that means it's likely it has mission critical workloads. It's a high value asset. It's core to the business, and it could be a high revenue generator for the business. In short, these are modernization projects where we want to be absolutely sure there won't be any disruption to the business or the system throughout the process. At the same time, these are also systems that have a large user or customer base, have vast complex functionality. And in the financial industry example we used earlier, the financial industry on its own has 22 billion, that's billion with a B, lines of COBOL code. And thinking about the mainframe examples we've discussed, understandably, most organizations are risk adverse when it comes to modernizing these systems. Therefore, they may be hesitant in the past to pursue large modernization projects and thus limit their exposure to that risk. But the neat thing is, this is a great use case for AI-assisted development. AI tools can be used to better understand the legacy system, and that in turn helps to mitigate some of these risks. We think of this legacy system like a big ball of mud. We need to peel off the legacy functionality to understand how that impacts the modernization process. So let's think through what our non-AI assisted human modernization team might have to consider. They'd need to map the complex dependencies throughout the system. They'd need to understand any internal coupling or how closely related components within the system are to each other. The tighter the coupling, the more they are related, the more risk modifying one part of the system may impact the other negatively. And of course, they'd want to ensure they're tracking all technical debt. Like most folks that work with enterprise systems, we know for our human team, this isn't a simple exercise. And there's also the issue of opaqueness. Some of the information needed to do the first part, pulling the ball of mud apart, may not be readily apparent, especially because there is no one source of truth. No one person knows everything, and it is not all documented in one easily accessible place. Plus, there may be undocumented decisions, the business rules may be poorly documented, and again, knowledge about the system may be fragmented across different individuals and teams. At the same time, in the case of mainframe systems, when COBOL subject matter experts retire, it can cause a loss of system knowledge, aggravating the problem even more. And the third issue is this usually isn't the first time the system has gone through the modernization process. There's scar tissue. On top of the dependencies and complexities mentioned above, our human team has to consider other messy integrations and a hodgepodge approach to solving problems. We're talking about systems where perhaps the previous team started solutioning without considering the problem. What we are essentially asking the team to do is walk back through all the previous modernization steps and go through this exercise again. It's a manual cycle, one that sometimes forces modernization projects into a multi-year process. And for each phase of this manual cycle, we need to consider dependencies and system complexity, consider the documentation or lack thereof, and consider all the integrations that came before. You can see that this is an onerous task, and the reason why, before you even get to the risks associated with modernizing, we might be hesitant to move forward with this type of modernization project. It's a significant investment. But consider what would happen if it isn't a human team conducting this analysis alone. Rather, a team that uses AI tools to gather and present this information. It could dramatically accelerate the process. That's why we created our ReDuX AI toolkit. Our entire ReDuX suite is powered by AWS Bedrock, a fully managed service that offers us a choice of high-performing foundation models. Using these AI models, we've built ReDuX AI to help our teams modernize your legacy apps. In our current landscape, guesswork and rework are creating endless circles, driving up both technical debt and costs. Redux takes the guesswork out. We capture code structure and behavior and map how that data is handled over time. We are able to deliver accurately, on time the first time. This allows your Agile team to grow and scale, enabling you to develop multiple capabilities faster. So as you can see, this isn't about replacing developers with AI. It's about using these tools to optimize the modernization process, allowing us to do even more to help our government customers meet their mission. This involves two types of analysis. First, we do a structural analysis. We gather visual insights and seamlessly integrate these useful insights into your code. But we also take it a step further. With behavioral analysis, our tools extract user flows and interactions, identify API endpoints, and collect data to link screen elements with database entries. This helps us understand how users interact with the system. If you travel outside of our modernization world, we hear media depicting AI as something that either creates art or acts as a friendly chatbot when we're browsing websites. In that sense, think of Redux as a painter, painting us a picture of your system, showing all of its complexity in a clear and understandable way. We're untangling the ball of mud. In that second part of the example, I mentioned people's association with AI and chatbots. And yes, actually, the other component of Redux is the ability to chat with your code. Basically, teams using ReDuX can use a chat interface to ask what's going on under the hood. So here's something a team member might ask to understand how a system works. They might wonder why a system arrived at a particular response. So, for example, a BA on an e-commerce team might ask questions to understand why products are priced a certain way in a catalog. They'd ask our chatbot questions like, how is this price calculated? Our ReDuX AI chatbot would respond with the process and the applications used to explain how the system arrived at that price. And as this gives the BA additional insight to write user stories, it also gives them the ability to ensure the same requirements are met when the system is migrated. And what's neat is each response isn't based on models trained on somebody else's system. They are context specific to this specific system and the human team member that's doing the modernization. Something we have also introduced is context that is specific to a team's way of working, the templates it uses, and the industry best practices it adopts. And this is core to using GenAI to scale and adapt. An AI tool that knows the team's processes, that works with the team's template, is a tool that can be used to pivot to meet new requirements using all of those templates and processes. Using this approach, there are a lot of opportunities to use AI to untangle the complexity in legacy systems. And here's a preview of something we will share in a future webinar. We asked ourselves, what does it look like for the team after they get all of this great information from ReDuX? And the next part of our ReDuX suite is a tool which assists developers, engineers, testers, the whole team as it iteratively works through the modernization process. With these two tools combined, we've seen 2 and 4 times the improvement in efficiency for some of our modernization projects. Some of the areas we are most excited about are mainframe modernization, data migration, and digital transformation use cases. We hope you head over to GoRedux.ai, that's GoRedux.ai, to learn more about this approach to AI accelerated modernization. We will also be sharing our experience here with members of the Carson Innovation Center over the next couple of months. And we hope you will join us here on Bright Talk to learn more. Thank you.